Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. We're coming to you live from Port Harcourt, and Channel TV is celebrating 21 years of professional broadcasting. Well, this morning we've got His Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State, Wike, joining us today on Sunrise Daily. Thank you for coming on the program this morning.
Thank you very much.
Well, let's start off with it's out there, the preparations for the elections. Well, long before now, you had talked about the fact that they need to conduct that election as soon as possible. But INEC eventually announced a December 10 date, which is fixing the date for that election. But you don't seem to be satisfied with just the announcement of the date. Why?
Well, because of previous experience. Conducting election is not only because you've announced the date for that election. You'll also have to prove to those who are participating that the election will be free and fair to the satisfaction of all the contending parties. For me, with what I've observed, yes, INEC has announced that the election will take place on the 10th of December, but certain issues have been raised concerning whether INEC really wants this election to be free and fair, whether INEC will really want to heed to the directive of Mr. President that this election must be violence-free, and so that's why we're worried, because of certain factors we have seen on ground. I would always say that for us as a party, we are prepared on our own to contest for the election, because we know we have prepared ourselves, we sold ourselves, we marketed ourselves to members of the public, and we are quite convinced that if INEC indeed conducts that election on the 10th, we are costing home victorious. But INEC has not been able to answer certain questions. And these are questions we raised before during the 19th of March Rerun. One, how are we sure that you are going to be impartial? INEC has said that for the assistant presiding officers, that they took the list from the universities. Who compiled the list from the universities? You have about 1,800 polling units. You have, apart from the presiding officer, you have 2 or 3 more assistants to the presiding officer. So if you take 3 to multiply to 1,800 polling units, you are talking about 4,000 something personnel. So who compiled this list? When did you advertise that people who are interested should apply?
So you suspect foul play?
Not merely suspecting foul play. We saw the list and we laughed. I said, these are the things we have said before, we have raised before. Look at these names there. You said they are students of the University of Port Harcourt. These ones are not students of the University of Port Harcourt. These ones can't even write their names.
Where do you think they're from?
Because we know that they are not University of Port Harcourt students. First of all, when you have told like that they are students of University of Port Harcourt, and we know they are not students, so it tells us who then compiled this list. We see one chairman, secretaries of the political party, to be assistant presiding officers.
But INEC usually has briefings with political parties ahead of major elections. Has there been any such briefing, and was this matter raised?
Of course, Friday. Of course, they will obviously deny the fact, or they will tell you, well, we are not aware of anybody being a member of the political party. Okay, let's take it about aware. But we have raised the issue now. Mr. Z, Mr. Y, Mr. Tuso, these are members of the political party. And we raised this issue during the 19th of March run.
So, of about 4,000 polling officers, you're saying that some of them or all of them are members of...
No, first of all, when you have seen this, then it raises the issue. Who actually compiled this list? It means that this list was compiled by the interested party and handed over to you. But if you have advertised for people who are interested in doing this job, you'll be able to filter. People would have said, oh, we know this person. Of course, everybody, when you go for training, we know ourselves. So we're able to identify. But because it was not done, 19th of March Rerun, I did write to the INEC chairman. I said, listen, we want this election to be free and fair. And for it to be free and fair, we have identified certain things that may cause problems. And it will be better at this early stage for us to avoid it. Look at the collation officers. We know these collation officers. We're all within the same community. This person is this. This person is this.
I'm curious to know the number of, the percentages, the entire list.
No, you don't even need to talk about percentage now. Mm-hmm. The curiosity is, the suspicion has come down. Look, if actually that you are saying that this list was given to you by the university, and your students at the University of Port Harcourt, and I've come to see the list, some of these people are not even students of the University of Port Harcourt, which means the University of Port Harcourt couldn't have compiled the list. That's the point we are making. And you have raised suspicion. And people will be worried. Hey, what's going on? And I have said this time without number that you should let people have confidence in you.
So this is about one name or two names or 10 names.
Several names.
Policing the entire lot.
The point we are making here is that even if it is one or two, but you told us that this list was compiled by the authority, University of Port Harcourt, the administration. And we are saying that if it is the University of Port Harcourt that compiled this list, they would not have included those who are not even students, as you are led that they are students.
So did the university confirm that those are not their students?
Obviously, this is not correct. Obviously, but you see, let you know, sir, these are things that could pose problem when you're talking about violence. These are things that could lead to violence. That people say, no, we know this person. You cannot conduct this election because we know where you are. And then there are all kinds of accusations and counter-accusation problems will come. And when that happens, what will be the results?
That's what people want to avoid, problems. And that's again why Chamberlain is asking the question. He thought political parties are supposed to also have an input going through that list together, not just the PDP, every other political party that is going to take part in this election. During that process, who were those members of your party that were called to go through that list?
I never called any political party to say, look, this is what we intend to do. We got this list. In fact, take for example in Gokana local government. When we got the training will start tomorrow. So some people said, let's go for the training. In reaching our agent that, how did you get this list? You have published them. How? It was based on that publication. We now identified that there's something wrong. And we have to raise an eyebrow. We have to say, look at what INEC is.
Which is the essence of publicizing the list.
All the local government, not all the local government publicize. That's the point I'm making. What the president in Gokana did was to make sure no other person come for the training. But what did INEC now do later? Because of that protest, INEC have now told their egos or whatever, okay, leave it open. But what we're saying that this shouldn't have been. This shouldn't have been. Do you know the crisis that would have led that particular day? What would have happened?
Is that particular incident capable of derailing or affecting the integrity of the process?
Of course, certainly yes. It's very, very clear.
I think you just mentioned something which is important. Did you say INEC listened?
For the information we gathered, they have now told their ego, okay, keep it open. Let those who are interested. But assuming...
That's for the training.
Yes. Assuming that nobody protested and we believed them. We didn't go to check the listness of the people. We believed them. What would have happened? That's why we go to the details. Whatever INEC tells us, we don't just go on to say they're right.
The reason I ask this is because you talked about you're not sure whether or not INEC has the commitment, to carry out free and fair elections, because you're raising certain questions. One of the questions you raise is is this list. But you also say now that INEC listened at the end of the day and said, leave it open.
Because that would have led to crisis.
Isn't that showing a certain amount of commitment that, look, we're willing to, be open to political parties and conduct this as transparently?
No. Because they have seen what that would have led to. That's the point I'm making. I've been issued from the start. You would have said, political parties, this is what we intend to do. Let everybody have that confidence in you. If you don't do that confidence, it becomes a problem.